Well, is it a good morning? Is it really? Let's find out. Hey everyone, my name's Trav, and here today for an emergency Bitcoin update. What the heck is going on? Why are we bleeding so much? What are we going to accomplish today? We're going to check out the on-chain data, see what's happening, seeing if this is actually legit, if we're about to capitulate and go all the way down to 10 grand, or if this is just a healthy reset before we start testing those highs again here. We're also going to take a look at the actual charts and maybe take a look to see what some trending narratives are right now here as well. I just want to start off by giving a huge shout out to Sentiment and the product Sandbase. That just, they have been such a powerful resource in, actually seeing what's happening on chain. And why is that so important? It's because charts only tell you so much. Charts, there are charts for crypto and there are charts for the stock market. That's only surface level. What's great about crypto and what the advantage is for crypto is that everything is on chain waiting for us to see. But that's where the tough part is. There is just so much data on chain. Where the heck do you even get started? Sentiment. So we're going to be diving right into that here in a second. First, friends, this is a very, very last minute live stream here. So yeah, if you guys are looking forward to this, if this is going to provide you guys value, definitely give this post a repost, give this stream a repost. If you're on X here, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitch, drop some comments. Let me know where you guys are at. If you have any questions, if you have any insights that you want to share with us, we'll definitely pin that up top here and give you guys some love that you absolutely deserve. And let's just, the idea here is we want to actually see what's going on. We want to break through the FUD and, help everyone just take a beat, just calm down so we can see what's actually happening and then make appropriate choices. The last thing you want to do is feed into any sort of emotion that's happening out on the timeline right now and make rash decisions, because that's how you lose. This whole thing is designed to get people caught up, as many people as possible, into greed and fear so that the big money can win. And guess what? Big money are calm, cool, and collected. They don't care. All they want to do is steal your money. So let's show them what's up. Let's show them what's up. First things first, let's have a quick look at the actual chart itself here. And I'm just going to pull up a Bitcoin chart. Oh, damn. Wow. Bitcoin is, wow. Okay. That's not ideal. Bitcoin has just plummeted down to 101K in minutes. I literally just pulled this chart up a moment ago when it was at 104K. And now we are bouncing off of 100K. That is concerning. That is concerning. Can you guys see this chart okay? Here, I'll move this over a little bit. That is a big fat red candle. Okay, so first things first, let's get a bit of a box happening here. I haven't been on TradingView in a while, so I apologize. Let's have a quick look here, trend line. So clearly there is a massive and very, very important support right here. If we break and hold and close a candle below that, I am worried, to say the least. Let's pull up a couple other indicators here. This one is one of my favorites. This is the volume profile here. Oh yeah. Okay, so what I'm seeing from this is that we are entering this low liquidity zone here. And when price enters this area, it goes quick. Price slows down in these volume shelves and it speeds up in these open spaces. It's kind of like molasses and then baby oil. It goes super fast through here and it goes very, very slow through here. Let's take that down here for a sec. Where the heck is my rectangle? Oh my goodness. Such a noob here. Okay, maybe it's over here. Okay, rectangle. Here we go. So first things first, this zone here is something I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on. Plus the 100K level is just also, it's a psychological level as well. So there should be a ton of eyes and a ton of orders at 100K. So I am very curious to see if it's actually going to hold or if it will break through. the thing with Bitcoin that you definitely need to remember is that it loves doing fake outs. You'll see it so many times in the charts looking back into history. It'll break through a major support, it'll break through a major resistance, it'll kind of spend some time, but then it'll explode right back out and go the opposite direction here. Always, always, always be careful to really evaluate to make sure that this is the actual move and not just another shakeout. But man, there's got to be tons of 1 second here, guys. Sorry. There's got to be a ton of people being liquidated right now, and we'll actually be able to see that in a second when we go on chain to see, how many people got shaken out here. Like especially this big drop here. This one I believe was kind of had this massive candle. Let's zoom into this one a little bit here. This was the highest liquidation event ever in crypto. Something like $20 billion worth of positions were liquidated, even more than the FTX collapse, which was wild. I'm curious to know where we're at here as well. So one more thing before we kind of move on here is if we do break below this, the next, let's see if I could find the rectangle again. Here it is. This zone right here is going to be the next real true support that we see. And this is legit here. The volume profile here that I see. So what's cool about this specific one is it takes into account every candle that's on screen. So you have a lot of other ones where you actually have to set this. This actually takes into account all of the price action that happened in this area here. So, it really validates that, price is going to move in this empty void right here, and price is definitely going to slow down if it makes it all the way down to like 97K, 96K. The one thing that I will say is that so far, if it stays above this, I'm hoping that this is still looking like and presenting like a healthy correction. May not feel healthy, but what goes up must come down. And in order to reach higher highs, you gotta sweep these lower liquidity zones here as well here. So let's take a look at that. Now, I'm just gonna zoom out a little bit more. Let's go to the weekly chart and let's like zoom way the crap out and get like a real legit look as to what's going on here. Maybe we can get some more intel. Okay, I guess it's just crazy to see that in the whole lifetime of Bitcoin, so much of the volume took place when it was like sub 9K. That's absolutely crazy. So yeah, like we definitely need to hold over this level. You can see even more so now how important this level is. It's still correction territory, not reversal territory based on this chart. And yeah, maybe we'll just leave it at that for now here. Let me just zoom out one more time so we can assess the volume at these specific levels here. Let's give things the time to adjust. Okay, yeah, this one definitely still holds. This is the next true support that we're going to see if we continue to break down past this 100K level, and we'll take it from there. Awesome, guys. If you have any other questions, let me know. I just threw a ton at you. Basically, in a nutshell, still in correction territory, not looking like a reversal, but damn, these are some heavy red candles that are happening right here. You can even just look at the size of them compared to any of the green candles that we've seen in like the recent month or so. Like this is a very, very strong push downwards from the bears, and something that we actually we very much have to respect. They're like just based on this, without looking on chain or anything like that, it's looking like we're definitely in for some more pain in the near future. It's probably at the very least we'll just kind of chop around these levels before going back up. You can see that exact same thing happened back over. Pull up my chart here. Back around December last year. Actually, it's pretty wild that we're like how cyclical this is. This just happened like going on a year ago now. The last time we consolidated and then dropped right back down here. That's super interesting. it is looking like that 100K is holding. There are some people coming in to swoop these lows here, but we need to find out who that is. Is it the whales? Is it retail? If it's the whales, I'm going to be really like very much assured here. But if it's not, whales are dumping right now. We're in for some trouble. But guess what? We're going to find out very, very soon here. So stick with us. Stick with us here. So let's pull down this screen here for now. Now we're going to pull up the on-chain data. We're going to see what's actually happening here. Let's pull this up. Let's pull this up. Real quick, while I'm pulling this up here, I just want to give a huge shout out to all of you guys for being here right now. I am fully in analysis mode, so I'm not sure exactly how many people are hanging out with us right now. But you know what? Let's check. Let's check. Let's have a quick look. Appreciate you guys being here today. Yeah, if you guys do want to see more of these, if this is helpful to you, definitely let me know, and we'll keep these things going in the near future here. Basically, kind of the reason why I wanted to do this today was because when I woke up and took a look at my phone and saw how red that the charts were, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely kind of panicked here. You know, a fair amount. So I was gonna look at all this stuff up anyways. So I figured let's do it all together here, and hopefully we can reassure some people as to what's going on here. So we are officially on Sandbase by Santiment. Such a powerful, actually, you know what? I'm going to go back to this one here so you guys can actually see the entire screen here. This is representing a lot of the on-chain data and social metrics. Now, what's important about this? Basically, we can see actually where money is flowing on chain, and that's going to give us a really good idea as to like the actual real picture of what's happening. You know, who's doing the buying, who's doing the selling, how much people in profit, how much are people at a loss. We can use all these things to kind of predict where Bitcoin is going to go to a very, very high degree of certainty here. So I'm just going to update all of these charts here. Now, this one here, transaction volume, it basically is showing that there is a decent amount of volume going into this downturn here, at least as much as we've seen in previous big moves, except obviously for this massive, massive volume spike that we saw at the end of October here. So there is some backbone to this downward move. So we definitely need to respect that. Daily active addresses, that was not super predictive for me, but you know, we can definitely see that there's a lot of movement happening. You know, people are doing things with their Bitcoin right now, whether it's moving it on chain, moving it off chain, whether it's swapping for stable coins, whether it's moving it onto a debt or a SEX, you know, which is not ideal. We can't really tell. We can just see that there's a lot of movement happening right now in Bitcoin. Now, this is probably one of the first real indicators that can tell us, you know, what might happen in the near future. It's not definitive. We're going to use this as kind of a puzzle piece and kind of create a whole kind of thesis based on all of this stuff as to where Bitcoin might go. What's cool about this is telling us, and it's going to sound pretty straightforward, but it's important, how much holders of Bitcoin of various timeframes are in profit or loss. And the idea behind this is that the more of these investors are in profit, the more likelihood that they are going to take profit and price will go down. Vice versa is the same. The more loss that people are experiencing, the higher the likelihood that Bitcoin is going to go up. So in saying all of that, we can see here, obviously, that holders of Bitcoin who've been holding the Bitcoin for 30 days are in a significant amount of loss. Excuse me, please, holy smokes. The highest amount of loss that they've been in since summer. And I'm going to back up a little bit here, and we can look even further back. Yeah, people who have been holding Bitcoin for 30 days and even for the last year are all now in loss, which is significant. And like the most loss, again, going all the way back to now, April 2025. So April this year. Can we go back even further? Okay, we are seeing a ton of loss back in like February of this year. but that's looking way back. So what is this telling us? Basically, if we took a look at every time that Bitcoin got to about, had pretty significant drops where we see that the MVRV kind of approached these levels previously in the past. Let's see here. Every single time price spiked down, very soon after that, we saw price rise in a significant way too. So check this out. Like even here, we saw price actually break all-time highs. Here, we saw we broke all-time highs again. This lowest low inevitably led to another new all-time high. This one here, yep, that's the most recent all-time high. That's when Bitcoin hit 125K. So this is actually looking quite bullish, I'll say. Now, caveat is, if this is a true reversal, I would absolutely expect this to continue to go quite a bit lower. Like, for example, here, when we saw this back in February 2025, when price really kind of like went down significantly and we saw lower lows and lower highs, this MVRV made it all the way down to about, let's see here, minus 11.81% on the MVRV, and we still have a decent ways to go before getting there. All that to say, I'm leaning towards this being bullish in my perspective. So that's one indicator that is showing us bullishness. So let's keep going. Let's see what else we can find here. Let's see what else we can add to this. Now, let's make sure this is up to date. These are funding rates. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Oh my goodness. Okay, hold up. I'm going to go back to this one, see if I can zoom in a little bit. There we go. Funding rates. Okay. So what is this chart telling us? Basically, this is telling us, how long or how short are traders who are using perpetuals, who are using derivatives, who are using leverage to bet whether Bitcoin is going to go up or down. Like, how short are people or how long are people? And tons of innuendos there. First of all, you're welcome for that. I won't be going any further into that here, but essentially, right now, at the time of this snapshot here, people were incredibly long on Bitcoin. So based on this, like, we can see the same thing happen back here in October 2025. I'm realizing I may have given you guys some false dates here, that I was reading that wrong previously, but I digress. When this massive liquidation event happened recently, we could see that there was a huge amount of green on the top of this median line here. So people were extremely long on Bitcoin, and they all got liquidated. Same thing right now. People were really betting on, Bitcoin going back up and retesting these all-time highs. That didn't happen. This hurts. So yeah, this actually is looking kind of bearish, because when we look back, we can see that typically, not all the time, but typically what we need to see on this chart before Bitcoin goes back up is a lot of people going short on Bitcoin. And we're not really seeing that right now. So this one's bearish. People are not betting that price is going to go any lower. And historically, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. So we've got one bullish signal. We've got one bearish signal. So right now, we're kind of neutral. We don't have anything really definitive here. Okay, this is where things are starting to get interesting. This is where we take a look at what the whales are up to. Now, are they taking part in this downward event? The answer is very clearly yes. Yes, they are. We can take a look here. This is not telling us whether they're going long or whether they're going short. This is telling us that people who hold between $1 million in Bitcoin and people who are holding between 100,000 or holding at least $100,000 USD worth of Bitcoin, it tells us whether they're actually transacting. And there's a huge spike. So they are definitely involved in this. Even like when the drop first started to happen, like they may have even, they may have even caused this drop here. We don't know yet. All we know is that they're taking part. Whether it's buying or selling, we don't know yet. So this is important to know because this leads us to our next chart. And this is how much Bitcoin are the whales actually holding. This one is probably one of the most powerful charts that we're going to take a look at today. I'm just going to quickly check X here, make sure that I'm not missing any questions, but let's have a quick look here. Excellent. To our 25 viewers right now, really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for taking the time. Really hope that this is bringing you guys some value in any way. I know it certainly is helping me understand what's happening on the market right now. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, any concerns, drop a comment here in the live chat, and it should come up on Riverside that I'm using right now, and I'll be able to see those. And then yeah, we'll definitely try and answer as many questions as possible here. So basically, we see three lines: yellow, red, blue. Yellow, or let's start with the red here. Red are wallets that hold between 10 and 100 coins. Yellow is wallets that hold between 100 and 1,000 coins. And blue are wallets that hold between 1,000 and 10,000 coins. And you know what? Just for giggles, I'm going to pull up wallets that are holding between 10,000 and 100,000 coins as well. This is pretty interesting. This is showing us that these mega whales, the ones that are holding between 1,000 and 100,000 coins, are actually accumulating. So you know what? Let's make this a little bit even more clear to see here. So let's put those ones together, and then we'll take these off. What is this pink one? Okay, it's all the whales. I'm gonna take that off for a quick second here, and then I'm gonna do this again, but with people who are holding between 10 and 100, 10 and 1,000 Bitcoin. So the good news is that the turbo whales have been accumulating since October. Very, very bullish. The whales that have been holding, kind of the sharks, if you will, that have between 10 and 1,000 Bitcoin in their wallet, they've been dumping a little bit, but not quite as much as the mega whales have been accumulating. Now, this is the really, let's see here. If we take, let's merge even more here. Let's merge all the whales. So whales that hold between, let's say, 10 Bitcoin to 1 million Bitcoin in their wallets. Okay, this one is the most telling. So let's erase all the other ones here. Let's erase this one. So basically anyone who's holding more than 10 Bitcoin in their wallet, all the way up to 1 million, or yeah, 1 million Bitcoin in their wallet, taking all that information, putting it together into one line, they are dropping, which is also bearish. However, there are levels to this. And you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say that this one here holds more weight than the other one. The fact that the mega whales that have between 1,000 and 100,000 coins in their wallet. Let's see, does this even tell us anything? No, it tells us jack. The fact that these mega whales are actually accumulating over kind of like the sharks, in my perspective, this chart right here is looking bullish. I know it's a bit of a controversial take, definitely a bit of a controversial take, but I'm going with it. And why do I think that? is because the people who have that stupid amount of Bitcoin in their wallets, people who have between 1,000 and 100,000 Bitcoin, they're the ones who are going to be more connected. They're the ones who are going to have a lot more resources. They're the ones who are going to have an actual realistic understanding of what exactly is going on in the markets right now. And the fact that they are buying this dip, that's bullish. That is bullish in my perspective. And even though people who have between 10 and 1,000 coins, even though it's a lot more, that's 150,000 versus only 2,000 wallets that have between 1,000 and 100,000. The math does make sense there that this is going to hold a lot more volume compared to these turbo whales. These people are a lot smarter than the sharks, and they are more connected. They wouldn't be buying if it wasn't worth buying. So I'm jumping to conclusions here. I'm going to say this one is bullish. So where are we at so far? We've got 2 bullish charts, 1 bearish chart. That's where we're at. We're leaning bullish. So let's keep going. There's a couple more here that are really, really important here. This is the supply distribution. Let's not worry about that one too much right now. Ratio of on-chain transaction volume and profit or loss. Clearly, most of the transactions that are happening are more so at a loss than they've been in a very long time. That is also understandable. Mean dollar invested age. This one is an important one here. This tells us if we're still in a bear cycle or a bull cycle. And if we go way back here, basically we want to see this go up. If it's going up, that means, hold up. Let me just make sure I'm giving you guys right information here. Okay, so we can see the correlation between the mean dollar invested age and the price here. We can see when it starts to go. I'm trying to remember what Brian told me what it was, and Brian, just to let you guys know, is one of the spokesperson for Sentiment. We've had him on stream multiple times to explain us these metrics, and he's such a good guru when it comes to interpreting these things here. So basically, when it starts to go up and up and up and up, that's when we are entering into a bull market. Like we can see, this is starting to go up when the actual bear market was established here. So we don't necessarily want to see this continue to go up. And when it starts to go down is when that bull market is kind of coming to fruition here. This one's kind of sideways. So this one's not super helpful. It's not bullish, but it's not bearish. So this one's neutral. So we're just going to take that for what it is. I'm going to zoom back in a little bit more here, and we're going to keep going. Okay, zooming in, it does look like it's a bit in a bit of a downtrend here. So hopefully that is a bullish sign for us. Hopefully that means that things will continue to go in an upward direction in the near future, but I'm not going to really put any weight on that right now. There's one more chart here that I'm really interested in. Actually, I'm curious to take a look at this one here. This is how much of the supply is actually on a centralized or on an exchange here. We're still incredibly low, and that's exactly where we want to see this year. When Bitcoin is on an exchange, it means that people are looking to cash out. People are looking to take profit. We can see, if we zoom right in, that we are in a bit of an uptrend now. People have been consistently taking profits. This is bearish, but understandable. Like we are in an established downtrend now. So the fact that this is going up a little bit is bearish. However, when you zoom way out, like we're still at like all-time lows for how much Bitcoin is actually on an exchange. I think for the very short term, this kind of indicates that we might go a little bit lower, or we'll stick around these levels for a little bit. But I'm not going to really use that one and put weight into it to really determine if we're super bullish or super bearish. So social dominance is way down. super bearish. Okay, This one is interesting. Okay, let's talk about this one here. This is the weighted sentiment. This is how bullish or how bearish are is chatter on socials. Like how a very, very high degree of accuracy when interpreting this one here. So the more bearish people are, the higher the likelihood that price is going to rip. Vice versa is true. The more bullish people are, the higher the likelihood that price is going to dip. I'm not a huge fan that we're so bullish right now. And we're not so bullish, but we are bullish. And that means people are feeling very hopeful that price is going to go back up. And I think the metric was 70% of the time, price goes in the opposite direction than as to what social sentiment is. So we're finishing up on a bearish note here, team. This is not looking good. But we'll see. We'll see. What I'm looking for, this is still like not as bullish or bearish as some of the other indicators that we've seen. Right now, I think for the short term, we might continue to go down until this social sentiment really drops. That's kind of what I'm expecting, because I know back here, like earlier September here, is like that's when price took or social sentiment took a massive dip after that massive liquidity event happened, and price only had a very short term increase, but it did have an increase. So price definitely still respects the social dominance, or yeah, the weighted social sentiment. So I think for the short term, this is not bullish at all here. I think that's about it that we have. Development activity. Actually, okay, well, let's take a look at this one here. Basically, we want to see spikes in development activity because that means that the devs are actually working on the product. And we are seeing an upswing. That is actually pretty bullish. I haven't really gone back too much to really like look historically to see, how this correlates with price action. But actually, if we take a quick look at it now, we can see that big rises in this kind of preceded upticks in price. So this one's kind of bullish. All right, I'll take it. So that's kind of all of the Bitcoin metrics that we're taking a look at here today. Maybe what we can do to kind of finish off here is let's take a bit of a more overview market a perspective here. Let's take a look at to see what people are talking about, what's performing well, what's performing awfully. We can basically see that everywhere in the market right now, it's looking pretty bearish, except for every single time these Trump MAGA coins are ripping somehow. It's ridiculous. Grok coin is actually doing pretty well. So Grok represent, love to see it. But everything else is like not doing too hot. Stable coins are holding neutral. Thank goodness for that. If these were red, we'd be in a lot of trouble. If we're looking at social volume changes, oh yeah, people are really talking about the main coins here. Daily active addresses. Okay, yeah, obviously like transactions are happening, whether they're getting liquidated, whether they're buying or selling, things are happening. So yeah, this is not a false move by any means here. Let's take a look at the screener here real quick. Actually, no, sorry, let's not look at the screen. Let's look at social trends. So what are the top three narratives that are being spoken about right now on socials here? So the first one obviously is the market. And the market is trending due to extensive discussions across Reddit, Telegram, and Twitter about financial and crypto markets. Topics include market cycles, bull and bear markets. Let's see here. Market timing, market corrections, the impact of market trends on crypto assets and stocks. There's significant focus on market capitalization or market caps, sentiment, trading activities, partnerships, and crypto and financial sectors, highlighting the importance of market in crypto, financial, and crypto discourse. Okay. Not surprised. What do we have here? Everlyn. The word Everlyn is trending due to its association with Everlyn AI, a platform that integrates artificial intelligence with blockchain technology to create decentralized, transparent, and innovative AI-driven solutions. So I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that this has something to do with the narrative of X402 that's been trending like crazy. Basically, what that is it's a protocol that allows AI agents to interact with crypto and make like transactions on the blockchain, which is actually huge and super cool. There's the other protocol, ERC8004 as well, which kind of adds on to that and establishes trust and reputation with AI agents just to help make that whole entire process, much more safe and secure. And that's actually nice to see that something like that is trending and makes me very, very bullish on projects that are involved with incorporating that. One project that I will tell you guys right now that is actively incorporating X402 and ERC8004 is a project called Robolabs. Let's pull them up here real quick and we'll share that. It's a bit of alpha here from me. I actually know the team. I've interviewed the team, and let me just tell you that I've never been more convinced that a project is going to make it than I am with them. Just a bunch of powerhouses here, and like really hard and passionate workers. And the amount of expertise is absolutely insane. So here it is, Robolabs, Roba_labs. Definitely check them out. Again, incorporating X402 technology and ERC8004. Basically, what they're doing is they are predicting with a lot of actual research and like solid metrics as evidence of this, that the next big narrative outside, because AI is clearly dominating the narrative scene right now, the next big narrative is going to be robotics. And it's super cool because basically we're at a stage right now in humanity where we've had robotics itself for a long time, but now we have AI at a level where we can actually give the bodies of robots the brain to match. So lots to be excited about here. Definitely worth checking out here. But let's get back to the topic at hand. I'm going to pull that off. Let's throw back the sentiment here. Let's see. Okay, so Everlyn, obviously trending because of their AI and the X402. Now let's have a quick look here at Bitcoin, because that's number 3, and it's trending. Widespread discussion cross Reddit, blah 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 blah. Talking about price. Okay, this really doesn't. Telegram highlights active promotion and demand for Bitcoin Flash tokens. Okay, this doesn't really tell us much. So maybe let's take a look at. Those are trending words. We've got trending stories. Got bear market bottom. Okay, this is why social sentiment is actually super bullish. It's because Jim Cramer declared that the crypto market is officially in a bear market, signaling widespread pessimism. Every time that Jim Cramer says one thing, the opposite happens. I'm convinced he is a lackey in the big money scene to try and drive, greed or fear one way or another, so that big money can take advantage and basically steal your money. So screw you, Jim Cramer. If he says the market's going to go down, that's actually probably one of the most bullish signals we can possibly see right now. So that is interesting, and that actually is really reassuring to know that weighted social sentiment is so bullish, because that to me tells me that most people know that Jim Cramer is full of crap here. So suck it. Next, we've got Hyperliquid's Hype token gains momentum amid rising whale activity and increased listings on major exchanges like Coinbase and OKX. The project offers 0 wallet fees and swaps this November, which is huge, boosting user adoption across multiple chains, including Base and Solana. Dang, I haven't really messed around with Hyperliquid. But this is huge. It's definitely trending here, and it's looking pretty bullish. Meanwhile, Bitcoin dominance strengthens despite a broader market dip, fueling cautious optimism among traders. Okay, so it's worth checking out Hype. The fact that it's trending so much at this point could be too late, but I definitely recommend checking out Hyperliquid's Hype token, taking a look. Last one here is Privacy Coin's Pump. So old privacy and layer 1 coins like XMR, ZEC-PIVX are showing renewed activity after years of dormancy. Traders speculate a 10% pump driven by Rari and possible cup formation patterns. Meanwhile, Bitcoin hovers near 104K amid heavy selling pressure and large liquidations, fueling altcoin rotation. So this is definitely something else to keep in mind is could this be the time where Bitcoin goes down and altcoins start to rip? I don't think so yet because the next major altcoin in line that should be receiving all this liquidity should be things like Solana and Ethereum, and they're both looking like crap right now as well. So maybe the last story here that I'll dive into is apparently there's rumors that are being spread that Wintermute is suing Binance following the October 10th flash crash, stirring market fears. Okay, this could definitely be something that's driving this massive downturn here. So if you guys do have any tokens on Binance, maybe considering moving it somewhere else. I've saw this by a couple reputable influencers on X here that this could be worrisome for anyone who actively has liquidity on Binance here. So just, do your own due diligence, maybe take a look here. So apparently Wintermute's CEO quickly denied all claims, calling them baseless and confirming no plans for legal action. Speculation appears to be a tactic to spread FUD and manipulate market sentiment amid large fund flows between the two firms. Market makers continue their usual operations despite the noise. Okay. This is very interesting. Again, a tactic to spread fear or greed to help manipulate price so that the most massive players can profit. So heads up on that there, guys. That's kind of despicable. But regardless, let's finish this off. Let's look at trending coins. This is one of my favorite ones. So which coins are actually trending right now? Which are being spoken about? Which are they bullish? Are they bearish? And I am not at all surprised to see the top 3 trending coins that unfortunately you guys do not have access to this. This is very exclusive to Sentiment Pro holders here. So very, very happy to be able to share this with you guys. Again, shout out to you, Sentiment. So the top 3 trending tickers are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. What do they have to say here? So Bitcoin is looking moderately, like slightly towards the bearish, but generally quite neutral. Bearish summary. Bear sentiment around Bitcoin is driven by several key factors observed across social media and market data. Number 1, technical breakdown and price pressure. So, we've kind of covered that. Number 2, institutional and whale selling. Significant BTC holders, including treasury firms like, I'm not going to even try and pronounce that, and notably Bitcoin OGs have been offloading large Bitcoin amounts to reduce debt or take profits. BlackRock and other institutional players have deposited hundreds of millions in Bitcoin to exchanges, which often precedes selling rather than accumulation. Long-term holders have sold hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin recently, adding to market supply and bearish pressure. Apparently, there's been a massive ETF outflow and lack of retail participation. We've got macro and correlational risks. Bitcoin's price action is increasingly correlated with traditional markets like the S&P 500 and gold, both showing signs of weakness or volatility. Rising dollar strength, the DXY reclaiming 100, and macroeconomic uncertainties are pressuring Bitcoin. The breakdown of previous BTC to M2 money supply correlations add to uncertainty about Bitcoin's fundamental drivers. Okay, very bearish. I'm not going to go into the other ones. Those ones are definitely the most important ones. Let's talk about the bullish summary. So what are some bullish signals here? So institutional accumulation and support. So apparently major players like Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy and BlackRock are aggressively buying Bitcoin. That's that's what we just read, that BlackRock is, I guess they didn't actually say BlackRock is selling. They just said BlackRock is moving Bitcoin to exchanges. So apparently both things can be true. Apparently there's new capital raises explicitly earmarked for Bitcoin purchases. BlackRock's launch of a Bitcoin ETF in Australia further legitimizes Bitcoin as an institutional asset. Okay. Technical indicators are pointing to a bottom, apparently. So Bitcoin is holding above critical support levels around 100K. with many noting bottom formations, bullish divergences, and potential breakdown from falling wedge pattern. The 50-week moving average is acting as a strong support. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that that's not the case anymore. Regardless, market sentiment and fear and greed index, despite recent price dips, the extreme fear readings historically signal buying opportunities in local bottoms. So we'll have to take a look at this, what the actual fear and greed index is. Okay, it's near 21, so that's like pretty fearful. Again, I'm not really going to go off that because I don't know who controls that. I'm actually going to go to the aggregated data that's being pulled from the socials to, really get a better sense, because that sentiment has proven, has greater than 70% accuracy of predicting where markets are going to go. So I'm not going to worry about that. Macro and on-chain fundamentals. Bitcoin's dominance in the crypto market remains strong, and on-chain metrics show declining Bitcoin balances on exchanges. Okay, we did take a look at that. Still pretty neutral. So that's not super definitive. It's not where we didn't actually see it start to decrease significantly at all. So again, I'm not sure where they're pulling this information from, but we actually looked on chain. So I'm not going to really put a lot of weight onto that. Upcoming catalysts and market cycles. Many expect Bitcoin to reach new all-time highs by 2026, supported by macroeconomic factors like fiat inflation and central bank policies. Historical patterns and cycle analysis suggest the current phase as a consolidation before a major bull run. Okay, so this point here, what's important to remember about this is more of a long-term macro view. This is not a short to mid-term view. This is just looking at, like I said, by 2026, it expects us to reach new all-time highs of 150K plus. Now, while yes, I also believe this, maybe not so certain on the timeline, what's important is what's Bitcoin going to do now within the next couple of days, within the next couple of weeks. And I think that's important because, I don't want you guys to be getting wrapped up in high leverage short positions, high leverage long positions, and then be one of those millions of people who are getting liquidated so badly right now. So this is really great. This is really helpful. This is a long-term view. This is not a short-term view. So just full disclosure. Let's leave it at that. Now, Ethereum and Solana. So let's just take a look at the summary. So Ethereum is trending due to extensive discussions around Ethereum's performance, market behavior, staking rewards, and its role as a major crypto asset alongside Bitcoin. It appears frequently in contexts related to transferable crypto assets, flash crypto offers, and wallet compatibility. On social media, ETH is highlighted in discussions about price movement, whale transactions, market dips, investor sentiment, emphasizing Ethereum's significance as a leading smart contract platform in the crypto ecosystem. Maybe let's have a quick look here. Okay, so bearish. We've seen some institutional outflows for the ETF. Okay, large-scale deposits of ETH by entities like BlackRock into exchanges such as Coinbase hint at increased selling pressure. Market sentiment is apparently weak. High leverage liquidations and general risk-off environment affecting ETH alongside Bitcoin and other major cryptos. All right, what's bullish then? Institutional accumulation. Large players like Bitmine, Immersion have aggressively increased their ETH holdings, now controlling nearly 3% of the total supply. Okay, that's huge. Network fundamentals and usage. Ethereum's on-chain activity is at all-time highs, with application revenue surpassing 42 million per day and total value locked. Wow. In DeFi reaching 379 billion. Unreal. Upcoming upgrades and scalability. Vitalik Buterin and the Ethereum community emphasize ongoing scaling solutions and protocol upgrades. Example, Fusaka upgrade, which are expected to improve throughput and reduce costs, enhancing Ethereum's competitiveness and utility, which is massive. That's huge. Market position and sentiment. So despite recent dips, It's viewed as a foundational asset alongside Bitcoin, which I agree. Let's keep going. Institutional product development, launch of custodial services, ETFs, and other institutional grade products around Ethereum is expanding its accessibility and legitimacy in traditional finance, which could drive further demand. Cool. Bullish on Ethereum. I love to see it. So let's have a quick final look here at Solana. Why is everyone so bearish? Price weakness and downtrend. Yes, obviously, liquidity provider withdrawals. Large liquidity providers on platforms like Meteora have been consistently removing substantial amounts of Solana from various pools. Okay. Market structure, macro concerns. Yep. A lot of outflows from Sol ETFs. Not at all surprised. Perceived lack of innovation and utility. So critics highlight that Solana's ecosystem is increasingly seen as a glorified gambling casino with minimal real innovation or meaningful development. This narrative undermines confidence in Sol long-term proposition. Harsh. Shots fired. Speculation and valuation, yada, yada, yada. Negative community and developer sentiment. Apparently there's frustration with the community regarding the project's direction, legal constraints on addressing FUD, and a perception that the core team and developers are not actively countering negative narratives or delivering substantial progress. That sounds like some drama to me. Nothing really tangible there, but not the best look. And then high volatility and liquidations, obviously. Now, what's bullish? Let's have a quick look here. Institutional inflows and ETF demand. Yeah, apparently Bitwise is also continuing to have record inflows, which is super cool. Strong developer and ecosystem growth. So this one, like right off the bat, counteracts that last kind of FUD drama point that we were talking about. Solana maintains a unique combination of high performance, low fees, and growing ecosystem of DeFi, NFTs, and Web3 projects. Recent major infrastructure upgrades, new bridges, and privacy protocols are expanding its utility and adoption. Bullish on Solana. Discounted entry and dollar cost averaging. Yep, now is a great time to be buying Sol. It's super, it's the lowest we've seen in a very long time. Upcoming catalysts and institutional products. So what does this have to say here? Reduce inflation, upcoming perpetual DEX launches, and growing institutional partnerships, including ETFs and staking products, are expected to drive demand and price appreciation over the next 1 to 2 years. So huge macro perspective. Doesn't help us in the short term, but love to see it. Market position and performance. So Solana remains one of the top smart contract platforms by market cap with strong developer talent pool and execution track record. Its speed and scalability continue to differentiate it from other competitors, making it a preferred chain for many projects. Love to see it. And then community sentiment. So this is the other side of the coin when it comes to what people are saying, where we had that drama a second ago. Now we're going to look at the bulls, the Solana bulls. So the Sol community is highly engaged and resilient, represent with many holders committed to long-term accumulation despite volatility. The narrative of buying the dip and holding for the next bull run is widespread, fueling steady demand. Love to see it. Super bullish on Solana. Real quick, just as a bonus one, Dash is also trending. It's number 4 after Solana, and it's looking slightly bullish. So the word Dash is trending due to significant interest and activity with the Dash cryptocurrency, a privacy coin that has recently seen notable price surges, increased whale accumulation, and strong trading volume. Discussions focus on Dash's technical resistance levels, its leading role in privacy coin sector outperforming others. I'm going to have to take a look at this whole privacy coin narrative. I don't know anything about it, but now I'm super curious. So could be worth some due diligence. If it's already ripped, I never like to buy tops because 10 times out of 10, whenever I buy a token that is already ripped, it proceeds to dip. I like to be early, buy narratives before they start to take off here, which is why I'm so heavy into Robolabs, Robotoken. Robolabs represent. But I'm still going to look into it because I don't know anything about it. And again, it's another lesson I will love to share with you guys today. Always do your due diligence for crap's sake, and don't just blindly buy into things. It's like you need to start practicing your own due diligence so you can get better at it, so you can know what to look for in both like bullish flags and bear flags. And that's that. So here we go. What do we actually? I missed this. This was from 10:05. This is from Red 3987 on YouTube. Alts have been in a bear market for months. Yes, they certainly have. They have not been performing well. Actually, maybe let's take a quick look here at the Bitcoin dominance chart. Let's see here. Let's pull up. Oh man, Bitcoin has officially hit 100K. Oh, that is painful. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Let's go to the daily chart. Oh man, yeah, Bitcoin 100K. Wow. Let's see. I'm curious to see how it reacts at this point here. But real quick, I'm going to look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. What is the Bitcoin dominance chart? DBTC, I think. Bitcoin dominance. I don't remember what. It's been a while since I've looked at dominance. There we go. Bitcoin dominance. Oh my God. Yeah. Bitcoin dominance is still really, really high. It's been trending upwards for a very long time. This is interesting though. It just knocked its head on this massive resistance right here. We can see how important this resistance is. Like every single time since August that Bitcoin has tried to like break above this 60% level, it has gotten rejected in a massive way. So you know what? This could very well signal that it's about time for alt season. This very well could be the situation. That would be kind of awesome because I don't hold a whole lot of Bitcoin. I will still continue to hold the Bitcoin that I do have, but now could be a very, very good time to start getting into some of these major alts. Like I've started to accumulate some more Solana in this dip. There's like XRP. I'm going to be buying a little bit more because, if you guys follow any of our other streams, Quantic is a huge Flare fan, and there's some major, major things happening with the Flare and FXRP and all that stuff. Definitely worth some looking into here. But Red, man, yeah, really appreciate your comment here. Alts have been in the bear market for months, and we can see that on this chart here. We can see that like uptrend in Bitcoin dominance has absolutely been outperforming, all of the altcoins here. But this could signal a top. This could very well signal a top. Will it happen? We will see. Let's have a quick look once again over at the, oh crap, Bitcoin USD once again. Oh my goodness, just so brutal to see. That bottom was at 100,220. 100K is still holding. 100K is still holding. We'll see how much longer it will hold for. But yeah, wow. Again, next major support is at 97K. Would not be surprised to see price go that low, guys. Just a heads up. I think it's too early to go long. Just I'll go out on a limb and say that like this is a very, very strong downturn. And yeah, never gonna just dive into something like that. How'd you guys like that stream? I had fun. I learned a lot. We got some projects to look into. I'm definitely going to look into, what was it? Dash, these privacy tokens. I'm going to, now that we took a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, I'm going to keep an eye on that. It very well could be that it's time for all season. I don't know. We kind of conclusion based on all of the on-chain data that, we're not seeing any major indications that this is like we are officially in a bear market. We are not, as far as I'm concerned. Nothing is showing that we are in a bear market. If anything, my prediction based on everything that we've looked at is we might go a little bit lower. We might test the high 90,000s. We might chop around at these levels, have a bit more of a shakeout. But so far, we saw that the turbo whales, the people who are holding over 1,000 Bitcoin in their wallet right now, they are accumulating. We have a lot of sharks who are dumping right now. But from my experience, it's those huge turbo whales that really know what's up. And while clearly the sharks are moving the market right now, the turbo whales, they are more connected. They are more informed. They know what's happening, and they know they are better equipped to make moves with much better information here. So if everyone was dumping, I'd be a heck of a lot more bearish. We saw that, but that's not the case. That's not the case. We saw that funding rates are still really bullish, and that is very, very bearish. So that's not looking super hot. Although we are also seeing that the social sentiment is still a little too bullish for my liking. So I'm sure by the end of the day, maybe even tomorrow, that will be different. So we'll keep a close eye on that. And if there are any major changes, I will let you guys know. So definitely make sure to follow Web3 Matters. Maybe give me a follow as well. So if I don't post it on the Web3 Matters account, I'll post it on mine. Actually, you know what? Regardless, I'll get Web3 Matters to share it. So, make sure you're following Web3 Matters, and we'll make sure to get that information out to you. And then, yeah, we saw some major narratives right now. There's some major influxes and outflows of the ETFs, of entities like BlackRock who are buying and selling their Bitcoin. We went over all that. There's a lot of drama, obviously, from a lot of Solana. Hold up. The Cruise Solana community is bullish as always. There are some critics out there though that are saying, only speculating, that not enough work's being done. But we've also been shown that that's some BS. So, in saying all that, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time here. How many people do we have with us right now? Let's have a quick look. Oh, yeah. 35 plus 17, 35, 45, 53 people. Appreciate every single one of you guys. My name's Trav. I'm here from Web3 Matters. This has been your market update. Hopefully, we were able to provide you guys some value today. Reach out if you have any questions, concerns, you want to know something, you want something explained. Happy to help you out. And in saying that, we will see you guys on Friday, maybe sooner if anything major happens here. So have a great rest of your day. Take care.